So first of all, I would also like to thank the Independence Public Media Foundation for providing support so that we could host this event through SIFTMedia 215. Our technical person tonight is Nikki Harmon, so she will be letting people in. And if you have any technical questions, just connect with SIFTMedia is going to be your handle for tonight, SIFTMedia 215. That's Nikki. So any technical issues, talk to her. And also, when we get to the Q&A portion of our programming, if you have a question, put a capital Q in the chat and then follow up with your question. And then when we're ready to entertain your question, Nikki will give you a little heads up. And then please unmute yourself, put yourself on camera, and speak directly to our wonderful panelists tonight. They want to see who you are. This is about engaging and creating community. So please, I encourage you, be seen and be heard.
Really excited to have colleagues of mine, two of whom, Susie and Chris, I've known for 15 years at least, I think at this point. Gabrielle, who I've just met. But what I'm really excited about with this group of people is, first of all, having me and Susie representing New York and the Philadelphia markets, greater Philadelphia region markets for the regional perspective. Susie leading the #1 market in the country. And then Chris Hastings, who oversees, as I think mentioned, the World Channel, which to me is a very, very important channel. It's a 24/7 channel that has a lot of really important, amazing new content focusing on news, public affairs, documentaries, really highlighting so many communities that do not get the space on other platforms. And he's just a really good friend. And then I'm very excited to have someone from PBS Digital Studios joining us. I don't think within public media as much as we've talked about getting your program on PBS and we talk about the big broadcasts, PBS Digital Studios is doing a ton of work that I really want our communities to know about. Short form content, they reach much younger audiences than the traditional television PBS audience, and are just a lot of great series they're putting out there. And we really wanted to bring in that component for people to understand that there are lots of different ways for your content to engage in a public media environment.
So I'll answer the first question. How is public television different from PBS? So PBS is, I want to call it a network, but it's really a content service in which public media stations across the country are members of. PBS is the curator and distributor of content that they are, like, PBS isn't a producer, but PBS is a funder and a distributor of the content to the PBS public media system. And so I think, when we think about PBS, we probably think of it as one of the big television networks, but PBS really is a membership organization of stations around the country, about 300 of them, who actually pay into a service to receive content, which PBS either buys or commissions or acquires, and they distribute it out to those 300 stations in which WHYY and WNET and WGBH, where I work out in the world, where we pay into PBS to bring that content to our local markets.
The question was, tell us specifically what program areas the four of you are involved in, and how do you see your programming addressing the issues of diversity? And Susie touched a bit on it with the different markets that she had worked in, and that's very helpful for filmmakers to hear. So yeah, Gabrielle, could you expound on that in terms of PBS Digital and how it's seeking diverse content in this era where we are having pushback against Ken Burns getting most of the money to make all the documentaries about America?
Yeah, absolutely. I saw the NPR article, like I'm sure everyone else did. And I just want to kind of back up a little bit. So everything that the panelists said was great. None of it applies to PBS Digital Studios. So we're a network of 20 plus different YouTube shows. YouTube is our primary platform. And the way we create content comes through in a few different ways. Sometimes it's just pure distribution. For example, we had a mini series run on PBS Digital Studios called Latinos Are Essential, which was fully produced and done completely by Latino Public Broadcasting. We signed a distribution agreement with them and hosted it and are hosting it on our show Voices. Just to give you kind of an overview of our network, we have 3 currently themed channels: PBS Voices, which is all documentary content, and we also have PBS Terra, which just reached 100,000 subscribers today. That is our science, technology, and innovation content. We also have Storied. That is our humanities content. So this is kind of a new direction over the past couple of years that PBS Digital Studios is going into, because it's very difficult in this online content environment to just keep starting new channels on YouTube. So instead, we're kind of focusing on these different hubs of content. Are you interested in science, humanities, documentary and people-driven stories? We might be starting a history-driven show. So stay tuned for that. And then we have our really big shows. It's Okay to Be Everything. It's Okay to Be Smart. Origin of Everything. Space Time. Those are standalone shows that kind of run themselves. And we're growing all the time. So sometimes, as I was saying, we just do distribution deals. Sometimes we have a grant. Let's say Overview came from a grant from Margaret A. Cargill. And so that was specifically focused on creating a show that talked about climate change. And we partnered with UNC TV, PBS North Carolina, and to do that show. But then we also have other kind of ways. Sometimes filmmakers just pitch us a series and we're really excited about it. So there's really no one way into PBS Digital Studios, and I love to hear pitches from filmmakers all the time. And one of the things we really look for is, I think, as was highlighted before, partnership with local PBS stations.